Hey listeners, welcome to another episode of the Kids Ministry 101 podcast. We are so excited to have you today because we are talking about something exciting today. Now, I feel like I say that every week. Every episode, producer Trey, every episode we talk about is like exciting. It's all fun. It's all good. Is it, Trey, is it true though? It's all exciting, isn't it?
It is.
I can tell because the excitement just pours out of you. Trey, you've been working really hard behind the scenes on pulling together some assets and some resources and things for breakout content for our upcoming ETCH Family Ministry Conference. And I know you've put in tons of hours on that. How are you holding up?
We are getting through just fine. We're just working away, trying to get everything as good as we can so that when people come on ETCH Live, they get the best experience that they can, even though we're not a real person. They'll still get the ETCH feel about it.
So, well, you are exhausted. I'm excited. And I know you're excited about being exhausted.
I'm still excited about it. Even though I'm exhausted, I'm still excited about it. I can't wait to see how it's all going to turn out.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're joined by our special guest, Melita Thomas. Hey, Melita.
Hey, Chuck. Hey, Trey.
Melita, best known, of course, for her fame and prowess in the VBS space as a VBS specialist and expert and trainer extraordinaire. But Melita, you are giving oversight this year, very personal hands-on, to our ETCH Live conference.
I am. It's exciting.
Yeah. I see. It is exciting, Trey. She said so.
I never said it wasn't exciting.
Well, listeners, it is exciting. So coming up October 13th and 14th, 2020, just around the corner, will be our very first ETCH Live event. Our ETCH conference has been a staple in the family ministry space for several years here in Nashville at the Music City Center for a big live gathering where preschool kids, students, preteen, and next-gen leaders come together and come as a team. And we just have an amazing event together. But that looks a little different this year, Melita. A little different because of our inability to gather in person in Nashville and for people to travel on planes and stay in hotels. And so we are doing something new. We're calling it ETCH Live. So we want to spend a little time today unpacking ETCH Live so that we can share the love, spread the joy, the excitement for this event that I know you and I, and Trey to a degree, have for the excitement of ETCH Live. So let's talk a bit about ETCH Live. A lot of us have seen, and some of us maybe have attended virtual events before. How is this one similar? How is it different? Tell us a bit about ETCH Live and what's exciting to you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to top Trey here. I am so stinking excited about this because you're right. We've had to pivot in this season, this pandemic season. And it seems like everything is shifting over virtually from, Sunday school to worship to conferences, and they're all done at a different degree of success, right?
Yes.
Some people have, some really great technology and it goes smoother than others. And so you may be tempted to be turned off a little bit by the idea of a virtual conference. But what I'm really excited about is the platform that we're using and the tools that we're developing to have ETCH take place in a virtual setting are going to be the next best thing to actually being there in person, rather than blowing the event out of the water, or blowing it up and saying, we're going to have to change all these things that we typically know and love about ETCH in order to do it virtually. We're actually developing the tools that allow us to have that exact same kind of experience just in an online setting. And so we're still going to be able to see each other from across the country. We're still going to be able to gather and to network together and to feel like we're in the same room. Even when you're watching a session, the tools that are built into the platform we're going to use allow you to do very much like what you would do on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube when you're watching a video, give a thumbs up or to laugh or to heart something. And so as we're all in our own places and spaces, we're going to be able to like and to laugh and to interact virtually and see, all these different responses happening as people engage with the content live and in real time. So it doesn't matter if you're in New York or if you're in Seattle, you're going to be watching it at the exact same time and having the exact same experience. And so that I think is really unique perhaps to some of the other virtual events that we've seen or that we may have participated in, to truly interact with one another. There will be live chats. There will be opportunities for us to engage with the content in real time. There will be live Q&As after some of the breakouts so that you can ask your questions to that specific conference leader. And so it's going to, again, feel very much like it's the next best thing to actually being together.
Yeah, and we love being together. It's it's a highlight of the year when we get together. And it's always fun to, for many of us to get away from home and be in a new space and lay aside some of the distractions and to meet people and network. And we love hosting our live events when folks come to Nashville. So there's a lot of things that we may be missing about not having that live event for many of us at LifeWay and attendees. However, like you mentioned, you just listed a whole bunch of things that you can't do in real space in real time. The type of networking and the type of responding, I'm so excited about this. Every obstacle is an opportunity, and we have taken this, and our team has done just a fantastic job. So I want to compliment you and the rest of our team for the work that has been done to make this not just a passive event, not just a big Zoom meeting where we're all together but a truly interactive, engaging experience through the platform we're using with some gamification features and ways to interact. It really is going to take ETCH from what has been a Nashville event, and we like to say to make it a more national event. So more people can participate. It's always been a little prohibitive for someone from maybe the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, to travel all the way to Nashville and use a flight and a rental car and a hotel. Well, now you can save all that money and you can bring more people from your team to interact and engage in real time at the conference. So I'm really excited about the chance we have to increase the reach of the event.
Absolutely. And that doesn't have to just be your team at your church, although that certainly is great for you to bring, instead of just, one or two key leaders, to now expand that and bring your whole volunteer base can come and gather together at the church. But it also could be partnering together with other churches in your community, whether you're hosting in your facility and whatever the restrictions are for your area and what your governor has said is safe or what your mayor has said is safe, gathering in groups of those sizes to attend with other churches or even across your state to gather together and still have some of that same experience of we're coming together, we're having that team building time, we're sharing meals together, and we're able to have that conference-like experience, but it's happening all across the country. So that's gives us, again, another new opportunity because of the challenges of COVID. We now have a great opportunity we can capitalize on reaching more within our own church, reaching more within our community, reaching more within our state, reaching across the country. So that's really exciting.
It is exciting. The DNA of ETCH and the acronym for ETCH is equipping the church and home. Mm-hmm. And so this is just a new extension, a new iteration that allows us really to reach deeper into the church, so that we can encourage, inspire more folks with these practical, applicable teaching points that we have that come through the ETCH conference. One of the main draws, I believe, of the ETCH conference are the breakouts that we offer. Talk to us a little bit about how breakouts are going to look this year.
Sure. Yeah. We're still going to have the same number of breakouts as we would in a live event, in-person event. So you're not going to see any scaling back based on what you were used to when you attended live. In fact, quite the opposite, because you have an opportunity to get a ticket level that allows you access beyond just the live event.
Right.
You're going to be able to attend so many more breakouts than you ever would have been able to here in Nashville, where, you would have had 6 total that you could have, chosen from over the course of ETCH. And now you'll have access as a premium member for 2 weeks to the breakout content. So you can pack as much content in as you can get in those 2 weeks, or as a VIP to have a full year's worth of access and see every single one of the breakouts. So we'll have breakouts targeted towards preschool ministry specifically, towards kids ministry specifically, student ministry, family ministry, and then we'll have general leadership breakouts as well. So a full range of excellent content for your entire church staff and volunteer teams to absorb. And the way it's going to work is the platform we're using allows you to build your own custom schedule and really do that easily. You'll see all the content there, much like leafing through the printed program. You can see what everything is. You see the title, you see who's leading it, you see a description of the breakout. And so then what you would do in this virtual setting is simply to click on the breakout of your choice. It will take you to a page where you can read all about it and read all about the presenter. And then you just click on add to my schedule, and it immediately populates for you, schedules you for that time and that breakout. And then as you are navigating through the event, at any point, you just go to schedule and then you click on the next thing that you're supposed to go to. And so it tells you what's live, what's upcoming, what's already in the past, making it very easy for you to be in the right room. And you know what? We've even taken into account the fact that you're going to have a bathroom break in between sessions, or you may want to grab a snack or grab another cup of coffee. And so we've even built that into the schedule so that you'll be able to move freely between the breakouts of your choice, or coming out of a main session, going to your first breakout. And I think it's just about as easy as it can possibly be.
So the breakouts are always a huge draw. And we, like every year, we have just a wide range of just incredibly knowledgeable and gifted communicators who are leading those sessions. And I just love that, you may actually be able to have more opportunity to interact during those breakouts from the virtual environment, where, when you're sitting in a conference room with 50 or 100 other people, you may be intimidated to ask a question or to, or to give a thumbs up or an amen, where that's going to be much easier for you to do, as you said, in this
Absolutely.
setting. So,
and we've got some really interesting breakouts. I mean, we always have interesting ones, and they're always applicable to ministry, but there are some this year that I've not seen before, and I've not seen in any other conference, some really difficult topics that are rearing their heads in our churches, like gender identity issues within the church. And how do we adhere to what the Bible teaches about gender and about what it teaches about sexuality, while still being in a position to love and to reach families who have individuals struggling with these issues. To have a real conversation about that is huge. To talk about sexual abuse prevention within the church, to talk about the rise of progressive Christianity as a threat to Orthodox Christianity, but how we're seeing that particularly in in teenage years, beginning to press up against our students from every angle and challenging them to rethink or to redefine who God is and what the Bible says and what we believe about it. And so being able to tackle head on some of these really difficult issues, in addition to finding practical helps for, classroom management and safety and security in a broad sense, or to talk about Bible skills with boys and girls, all of that, you're seeing the whole gambit there, which I think is really exciting. It has a potential to really speak to whatever burning, pressing issue is happening on your heart in your church with the families that you serve. And so these breakouts are going to be, I think, really inspirational, helpful, challenging, convicting, but very, very practical. Yes. And so you're going to want to make sure you don't miss a single one.
Yes, I love it. I know we've put a lot of effort into selecting who our speakers are and what our topics are. And I'm just so excited to hear the testimonies of people who attend and experience these things, especially those who have extended access beyond the actual 2-day event to consume and process that content over the next 2 weeks or over the next year. So super exciting. Let's talk a bit about our main stage. So yes, breakouts are a core of what we do. There's so much meat there, but our main stage is pretty cool in itself. So tell me a bit about who we have lined up and what we might anticipate from we say main stage, right? The main stage within a virtual environment is the thing that we all experience together, right, regardless of our area of interest. And then our breakouts are where each one of us may have our own device that we break off and experience those individually. So let's talk about these the big gatherings.
Yeah, these are going to be fun. Very similar to what you would experience in live and in person. There will be 4 total of these main sessions, 2 per day. And so they'll kind of kick off the day, and they kind of serve as the capstones there, or bookends, if you will. So one to open the day and one to close the day each day. We've got some big names, some A-listers like Jamie Ivey, Kelly Minter. You may have heard of both of those ladies. You might have, if you're a big football fan, you might remember Derwin Gray from when he played in the NFL, and now he's pastoring a church. He'll be with us. Ed Stetzer from Wheaton, from our buddy up there. We've got some wonderful music leading, worship that's going to be a part of this from our buddy Jimmy McNeil out of Austin. You'll see some familiar faces from our LifeWay crew. You'll get to see the magic, the illusions, if you will, of Brock Gill.
He is so fun. And that's going to be such a cool thing. Yeah.
And I love it. Not only is he providing some entertainment, some levity, but he is crafting each of his sessions or each of his illusions to fit the theme for the day. And so it's going to be practical and a word of affirmation for our audience to continue to reach deeper and better and beyond what they're able to do on their own. And so I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table each day. Of course, we'll see our friends Jana Magruder and Ben Trueblood, who will be hosting each of the sessions and walking us through that. And it's Robbie Gallaty, who we've had at ETCH before, is coming back.
He
is, and what a fan favorite, as we've heard over the years. So lots of great speakers lined up that you're not going to want to miss.
Now, you mentioned a couple locations, and I referenced earlier that this going virtual has allowed us to take a Nashville event and make it a national event. You mentioned Ed Stetzer, who's in Illinois, in Wheaton. And you mentioned Derwin Gray, and he's in North Carolina. And you mentioned Jimmy McNeil leading worship from Austin. We've actually got camera crews at all these locations. Yeah. And so when we hear from Megan Fate Marshman, we haven't brought her to Nashville. We've sent a camera to Southern California. Right. And so all these folks will be coming to us from their own hometowns. All over the country. We've got an interview with Jesse Campbell up in Seattle. And so we've got features where we have friends who are all over the country who are coming together in virtual space for ETCH Live. And that's a new and exciting thing.
It is. It's really been a lot of fun. It's been, as Trey knows, a logistical nightmare. But it's been crazy. So much fun.
But it's invigorating.
We're all going to be part of this together. And we're reaching together well. And I think that's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Well, so we have for the ETCH conference, all the information on this, listeners, is available for you right now at etchconference.com. ETCHconference.com has the schedule. It's got information about the different packages that are available for you and your team to attend. Of course, there are links to our sponsors. We really appreciate them who help us with the cost of pulling off an event like this. So visit our sponsors. There will be a store. Part of coming to the ETCH event is visiting the store where you can get the t-shirt and all the different things. The bookstore where you can find resources, and folks just love to get their hands on books. But we will have a virtual store experience as well. It's all very exciting, plus the ability for you to network. And so that's cool and exciting too. So information at etchconference.com. So I want to make sure to direct you there and encourage you to attend the conference with us. Melita, as we wrap, let's talk a little bit about the theme this year. And it's really, I think, it's always fun how we see God. We work on themes a year in advance or more. Mm-hmm. For Vacation Bible School, even farther, for our conference. And so we never really know at the time that we initiate an idea for a theme, how that's going to play out over the course of time. Our theme this year for ETCH Live 2020 is reach. And so talk to us a little bit about that theme and how that seems even more appropriate in light of our live event.
Yeah, I was thinking this is like divinely appointed this year, because who would have known but God? Yes. How could we have possibly known to what degree we would need to reach beyond this year? Our churches are shut down, but the ministry doesn't stop. The work of the church doesn't stop. And so we've had to get creative about how we continue it and how we continue to reach kids and students, how we continue to reach families, how we continue to reach the lost. And so this is a very appropriate theme for 2020 as we think about we don't have the answers. And we're not in a position of being able to reach everyone effectively in our own strength. But when we're tapped into the source of our strength, the one who is able, that's when we're able to reach better. We're able to reach more. We're able to reach more effectively. We're able to reach creatively and strategically. It's not coming from our own creativity. It's coming from God. Yeah. And I think we have each probably would each be able to stand up and give a testimony of what that has looked like in our context this year. Yeah. Because everybody's had to do it. And so it's going to be a really incredible time of celebrating what God has done in this season, looking forward to when we're able to get back together again, but not losing the things that we've learned through this process, being able to take those new strategies with us and continue them on so that we don't focus on just reaching within the walls of our church, but we're able to use the tools God has given us to reach beyond. And so each of our sessions is going to focus on, each of our main sessions will focus on a different nuance of reach, helping us to reconnect with God and our calling, helping us to reach deeper as we allow Him to kind of infiltrate all the spaces within our own hearts, within our own ministries, and lean on Him for guidance and direction. We'll talk about reaching better, more strategically, more creatively, how we do that and what that might look like in this kind of new reality that we're living in. How we reach beyond our comfort zones, beyond the people who look like us, sound like us, talk like us, reaching hard to reach people and hard to reach places, and extending our reach not just outside of our church into our communities, but literally around the world. And then we'll talk about how we reach better together by reaching across the aisle, by breaking down these silos for ministry that we find ourselves in, by working together with sister churches and with like-minded individuals, by working together with our volunteer teams that we're training and leading and developing. And together, when all four of those pieces start coming together, that's when we see our reach expand. That's when we see ourselves reaching effectively and expanding the kingdom of God. And so that's kind of a broad strokes picture for what we're going to delve into in each of these four main stage opportunities.
Fantastic. Yes. And I have loved the way that our team has been so intentional and prayerful about helping to flesh out this theme of reach. We know this is a time when our natural response to what's happening in the world might be to pull in. It might be to withdraw. It might be to isolate, to feel like our ministry is hindered or encumbered in some way. And honestly, guys, in fact, it's the opposite. Yeah. We're disappointed that we can't meet together in person in Nashville for ETCH this year, but God has given us an even greater opportunity to increase our reach through technology so that you can have more folks gathered together in more places closer to home, so that you can be more equipped to reach more people in your community. And so I'm so excited about what is happening and the way that this event is unfolded. Melita, thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for your work on the event, but thank you so much for your passion and excitement and enthusiasm for this.
Absolutely. It's going to be great. I mean, how could you not be excited about it?
Well,
I mean, once you know it's going to be awesome, then
absolutely.
How could you not?
Absolutely. Even Trey, who is operating on caffeine and very little sleep, is enthusiastic about this. It is really going to be a fantastic event. And listeners, we want you to participate. So go to etchconference.com. Click on one of those 3 options for your attendance. We want to encourage you to consider getting the premium or the VIP so that you might have extended access to the content, maybe for yourself as a leader. But then each member of your team, you want to make sure that they have their own admission, their own access, so that they can attend their own breakouts. And so I know a lot of people around the country are going to gather together in churches and in settings near home where they may have their team or an extension of a few teams who come together from different churches, and then experience the large group main sessions together, and then take your own device to break out and focus on the areas of specific interest for each person. And so we want you to give thought to how you'll attend and how you will etch this year. All that information and more at etchconference.com. Go there and check it out. And we are so excited to interact with you for Etch Live this year. Thanks, Melita. Thanks, Trey. And thank you, listeners. We'll see you next time on another episode of the Kids Ministry 101 podcast and at the Etch Live Conference.